into cosmic structure, it's being pulled off on a tangent, and the energy's flowing and going all over the place. If you look at the Milky Way galaxy, it's pulled off 23.5 degrees, and it's come into a manifestation of an illusory kind of a expression in space-time. It's not in true alignment with the galaxy that it was pulled off. It's sort of hinged across on an angle. And when you look at the human being, the structure of the body, and you look right on top of the spine, they have the atlas there. There's a bone on the top of the spine that holds the head, and it's got two little pins that go into the sockets on the skull, and it carries the weight of the head on the top of the spine along with a lot of other connections. And that also is pulled off tilt by 23.5 degrees. So there's something happening energetically in the hologram. It's pulled off alignment. The alignment is not true. In other words, if you're going to arc energy lines from, say, standing scalar wave points, say for example, in my anatomy here, I've got a 12-tree grid. You might have seen it in different expressions. Some of the Hebrews through the Kabbalah, they have like 10, or some have 11, or some have 9. They have 9 points joined with cords of light, or communication. Well, all of those are distortions from the original pattern. The original pattern is 12. 12 tribes, 12 scalar wave points, or density points within our morphogenetic field that we call our entity, upon which the body manifests as an atomic structure. Those points in our body are energetic centers that connect into spherical energy of communication around about us as like auric fields. So there's not only those points, but if those points are aligned correctly with one another, and the cords of living spiraling light can go between the tonal standing scalar waves. So you've got 12 points of standing scalar wave emanating from within the morphogenetic field, connected to multidimensionality. And there's spiraling energy lines that connect between them, which they call the axiatonal lines. And they actually would open dimensionalized flows within the structure of your anatomy to bring you in ever-increasing frequency blending to have a clearer and clearer mind and to migrate your consciousness into higher dimensions. So as you would open through the crystalline structure of your body, new flows into the templates of your hologram, you would actually radiate new information into your fields through greater connection internally. And that's what I'm learning. I'm learning that. It's like you have a central column, and a lot of people know about chakras and energy centers, vortex energy centers. And in the 15-dimensional structure, or the 15-dimensional time matrix, we have 12 major points of standing scalar light within the physical anatomy, or in the morphogenetic field upon which the physical anatomy springs forth. But there's also, at a right angle to that, there's a very similar looking 12-tree grid that plugs in on a tangent, like a quadrant. And so if we saw a vertical structure of 12-tree grid rising up, say if you just held your hands in front of you and you rose them up parallel from one another, and you say within that parallel rising of my hands there are 12 points, one at the bottom, 3 up each side, one at the top, and then some in the centre, you could see that that's a 12-tree grid, but there's another one plugging in, say on the left hand side. It plugs in exactly into the top 2 points there, and that's what we call the light and sound fields that flow in. Well, that's your particle universe. And if you moved your hand across to the right and you plugged another 12-tree grid in at the right, that's your antiparticle universe. And as you put your another one above that, in line with the first one you made, you'd have like a cross of 12-tree grids, four of them together, working together. Well, that's what we call the 15-dimensional time matrix, upon which all manifestation comes forth in our own awareness, but they are all sort of simultaneously working together in a spherical energy, where the 15 dimensions that come forth out of that are the 15 chakras that create the energy flows within the hologram of your own form and connect into multi-dimensionality holograms outside of your own personal auric fields. So you can create greater and greater connectivity into greater and greater dimensionalization and expression of light that constitutes the entire cosmic reality fields through the personal, tribal, through the Earth hologram, through the solar, through the planetary, through the galactic, metagalactic, universal, and out into the cosmic. So you can blend completely into all the fields because of the computation that comes down through the 15-dimensional structure within your own form. And of course your hands as well. As you put your hands out like a cross, and you become like a cross, right in the centre where your shoulder level is, right through, if you had your hands parallel, right in the centre there is chakra number 8, which is like a metagalactic gateway. It goes into the inner structure of the microcosm, and it goes out into the extra-dimensional structure of the macrocosm, but through the gateways of your own awareness, and it would be like a inner and outer realm blender. It would mix all of the different dimensional frequency bands of your chakra energy systems into one holographic form for you, reaching right out to the extremities of the unbounded, unlimited, universal expression of the one that can never be contained. And that's you. Once you realise you can reach out into those realms and bring that energy through the perfect alignment of the fields and the shields and the spinning energy, the standing scalar wave points within the structure of your anatomy, and the spiralling energy through the crystalline multi-dimensional morphogenetic field, you can create your own hologram of awareness without limit. And I'm very, very, very sure that this is why we're here. We're here to re-establish the alignment, because alignment is truth. See, if you're being pulled off tilt and off kilter, you're sort of like, you're leaning over, the spiraling energy flows that are supposed to be moving between points of standing light, they're arcing out on different angles, and they're going out like spiraling energy just going nowhere, and you're losing the perpetual motion flows and the exact containment of the energy which breathes in and out of God's source from the highest dimensional form through all space-time matrices and matter manifestation templates. And so your own structure is lacking, and that's why you've got the 98% junk DNA. You can't decode all of the communications that are locked in there, and you've got about 2% functioning, and that's what gives you your mobility here in the containment that you're in. In the depravity of the mind, in the gravity, what holds you down and drags you back to the dust time and time again. From the dust you come, from the dust you shall return. Well, that's not very efficacious in the regenerative process, to constantly go back into dust. In other words, the atomic structure rises up, comes through the womb of your mother, your soul components tether together with the atomic structure of the genetics of the fabric of your body, created through your parents. But here you go, you're tethering a part of your own energetic form into the fabric of your body, and you're there to regenerate your body. You're there to transform your body back into a light, back into the beautiful communication. And yet, time and time again, you drop back to dust. You can't get the quantum leaps that are required within the timing of your structure to go rewrite all of the DNA strands of 1, 2, 3, make a quantum leap, open up the next 4 chakras, and then rewrite all the DNA strands of 4, 5, and 6, make a quantum leap, rewrite all the DNA strands of 7, 8, 9, make a quantum leap, go up to 9, 10, 11, 12, and then out into the matrix, and there you are. You're the Christ that's taken flight. You're the angel that's come forth and found your wings. You can transcend the limitations of density and matter and everything else because you've got the computation working within you. You know what I mean? So this is what I love talking about, because this is becoming like a reality to me. I'm seeing in my mind and feeling it in my body the activation of the integrated circuitry of the integrity of the entirety of the unbounded universal reality. It's coming into me in flows and a bass pulse rhythm. I can feel it buzzing within my bones. My blood is forming new crystalline structure, communicating to my RNA, DNA, upgrading my book of life. It's becoming my reality. And I heard Jesus say to me one day, he says, look, I've done it, I demonstrated this to myself, and he said, you're going to have to demonstrate it to yourself too, because no one else is going to do it for you. It's going to become your own intention. It's going to happen through your own divine realignment and reassociation into the multi-dimensional structure of the cosmic form that steps itself down so that you can have many expressions. Well, God's source is expressing itself through you so it can know itself as you. And there's many parts of you running around in different structures of space-time and locations, and we're all feeding back like a biological feed loop back into the main frame of computation to God knows itself as everything. and yet we have our own individual expression in relation to that. And so we're finding that, you know, we can use that whole mind. We can use the whole mind, the mind that works,